Destroy the income documentation, destroy the professional reputation, and the target becomes easier to control. Marcus hadn't merely wanted Ariana's divorce to succeed. He wanted me erased. Victor Langston let the silence sit between us for a few moments before speaking again. Mr. Thompson, there is one more thing you should know. He slid another document across the table. This contract was approved by an external due diligence consultant before it reached my desk. The recommendation was one of the strongest we've received in years. I glanced down. At the bottom of the page was the name of my consultancy, James & Associates. My stomach tightened. Victor nodded slowly. We discovered that after receiving the anonymous information. Until then, neither Ariana nor Mr. Hale appeared aware of the connection. For the first time since walking out of my marriage, I almost laughed. Not because anything was funny. Because the irony was almost impossible to comprehend. The deal Ariana believed would launch her into a completely different league. The deal she planned her divorce around. The deal she toasted while standing beside another man. Existed because I had helped make it happen. Victor folded his hands. I have no interest in your personal life, Mr. Thompson. But I do have an interest in integrity. He paused. Our board has opened an internal governance review. I nodded. That was all I could do. For months, maybe years, I'd believed justice required action. A confrontation. An argument. A dramatic revelation. But sitting there overlooking the River Thames, I realized something important. Truth does not need volume. It only needs time. 3 weeks later, Ariana's solicitor delivered divorce papers. The settlement offer was exactly as insulting as the memo had suggested. The proposal treated me as though I were little more than an administrative inconvenience. No mention of my contributions to Elevate's early growth. No mention of the thousands of unpaid hours. No mention of the years spent helping her build the foundation beneath her success. Just numbers. Cold and calculated. My solicitor smiled when she read it. They think you're financially vulnerable. I handed over documentation from James & Associates. Client contracts. Tax records. Asset statements. Investment reports. Her smile widened. Oh. That single word carried enough meaning to fill a room. Within 48 hours, Ariana's legal team requested a postponement. Then another. Then another. The confidence disappeared very quickly once reality entered the conversation. Meanwhile, events at Langston Global were moving even faster. Marcus Hale was removed from all advisory roles pending investigation. Several communications uncovered during the review raised serious concerns about professional conduct. The board wasn't interested in gossip. They were interested in risk. Marcus had become risk. Ariana wasn't terminated immediately. But she was suspended from active negotiations while compliance officers examined communications connected to the contract process. The woman who had celebrated victory on a Tuesday evening spent most of December answering questions she never expected anyone to ask. Then Dana called. The personal assistant whose laptop I'd repaired months earlier. We met in a small cafe near King's Cross Station. She looked nervous. I sent the email. I stared at her. The anonymous one. Dana wrapped both hands around her coffee cup. I couldn't keep watching it. She explained everything. The conversations she'd overheard. The planning. The jokes they made about me. The assumptions. The certainty that I'd simply disappear once the paperwork was signed. She lowered her eyes. They thought you were weak. I smiled faintly. No. I said quietly. They thought I was kind. And those are not the same thing. Psychologists often note that manipulative people mistake patience for weakness because they cannot imagine strength without aggression. The divorce dragged on for another 6 months. In the end, the settlement looked nothing like the one Ariana originally planned. Documentation revealed substantial contributions to her firm's early operations. Evidence of financial concealment attempts created additional complications. The final agreement reflected reality rather than assumption. When it was over, I expected triumph. Instead, I felt something else. Relief. The strange, quiet relief that arrives when a storm finally passes. Not happiness. Not revenge. Just peace. The following autumn, I bought a modest detached house outside York. Nothing extravagant. A garden. A study. A kitchen large enough for family dinners. My father visited often. The porch swing creaked whenever he sat on it. He still refused to fix it. One evening, nearly a year after everything happened, he looked across the garden and asked, "Do you ever miss her?" I thought about it carefully. I missed the woman I believed she was. I missed the marriage I thought I had. But I didn't miss the reality. Those are very different things. Ariana called once. Almost 11 months after the divorce was finalized. I let it go to voicemail. Her message lasted 23 seconds. She apologized. She said she'd made mistakes. She said she'd misjudged people. Then she asked if we could talk. I never called back. Not because I hated her. Not because I wanted revenge. Because some chapters end exactly where they're supposed to. The greatest surprise wasn't losing my marriage. It was discovering how much of my life had survived without it. And sometimes that's the lesson betrayal leaves behind. Not that other people can hurt you, but that they cannot define you. The people who planned my downfall assumed my value depended on their recognition. They were wrong. My value existed long before they noticed it. And it remained long after they were gone. If there's one thing I've learned, it's this. Never underestimate the quiet person in the room. The one who doesn't boast. The one who doesn't demand attention.